May 24th, 2021. How's it going, guys? We're going to do a walk in the park. So I wonder what they're doing over there. Take a look at that real quick. Looks like they got a small little, a boat. Maybe they're going to go pick up all the trash out here, you think? You never know. Could be. So it looks like some of the cloudiness is leaving. That's a good thing. Here's Dove. Yeah, looks like everybody has some blue sky today. So what are we going to talk about today, guys? Let's talk about a couple different things. Let's talk about biokinetic energy. I think that's a good place to start. And I want to give out a little bit of information here on a couple of the YouTube channels. You definitely should check out. EE Arts gave out some information, and so did Teal Swan back on May 22nd. I got that page here. I'm gonna let my son get going here. Why don't you read those two off?
What is the purpose of life? Life is an adventure by Teal Swan.
Okay.
And science has confirmed the ancient knowledge and hidden secret of biophotons.
Okay. Check out the four doves up there. There's one there. There's three over there. Look at that. Is that cool?
Uh-huh.
That is cool. Everybody should check that out. Like I say, not affiliated with any other YouTube channel, but definitely check it out. And I think both of them do an excellent job talking about kind of like the source, where everybody comes from. Wish they'd elaborate a little bit more that everybody has their own will, their own spirit, and it doesn't mean that they have to be controlled by groups or anything like that. Thinking they need to go into a little bit more detail. Now, EE Arts, he has talked about some of these groups and how they control and try to control, which isn't good. And see, the ones that do have the energy, well, we all supposedly have the energy, but I still say that there are different forms of energy, of the chi or the biokinetic or whatever else. Lots. That has to do with your DNA definitely DNA, no doubt. So, if you get a chance, check those two out. Both were back on May 22nd. Because see, the problem with this is you got all these other groups that pull them in. It don't matter if it's a church group, it don't matter if it's a witchcraft group. You know, witchcraft bunches get always say, oh, give me a year and a day, is what they do. And that's what they basically always do. So they can control their people. And that's the bottom line. Good morning. That's the bottom line on all this. Good morning. So the thing of it is, it's no different than like when they talk about the Illuminati and all the rest and stuff. But the thing of it is, you need to understand, everybody needs to understand, you don't have to be controlled by those groups. And that's something I think Teal Swan and EE Arts needs to go and talk more about. Because all these people, you talk about like sheep, they are the sheep. And that's the bottom line on all of it. So, good morning. And nothing's going to change that unless they, but I mean, what in this May 22nd, what EE Arts and Teal Swan talk about are actually about ascension. And if you have to, I think the problem of it is when they talk about all this, and the thing of it is that you have to understand if the people are afraid to, like the Teal Swan did a great explanation about living and doing other things. But if these groups that they've contracted with, a contract pretty much, contract, because then they feel that they're obligated and then they can't never get any higher. They don't understand. It's like, you know, it's like being being like a robot. You know, being told what to do and how to do it. But they talk about, you know, actually being open and going as far as you can with it. But see, I don't think the thing of it is, when they talk about this, they don't actually go any further with it. And that needs to be addressed. Because there are massive groups out here that are trying to control. Now, EE Arts, you know, he goes into detail, and he talks about different groups that, you know, some that, you know, we'll talk about religious church groups. They've been trying to control certain things for thousands of years. There you go again. And I mean, so, I mean, I know sometimes he talks about the Masons, he talks about other different things. I mean, all these groups, it's okay to belong to a group. But if somebody goes and says to jump off a bridge, you're going to go jump off a bridge. I mean, you know, I just don't think they get it. And to be happy. I think that's another thing too. These people do not look happy. Now, me and my son had a discussion yesterday. We went up to World's Fun. Like I said, World's Fun was great. They had everything, almost all the rides going and everything. But there was something that we did talk about. And this could be something too that also could be addressed. When we were up there, we probably passed, I don't know, 2,000, maybe 3,000 people that was up there. I'm just guessing at how many people, probably about 2 or 3 at least. And everybody looked depressed. Everybody looked down, even the children. Now out of that, we probably seen, because see, usually at World's Fun, the rest of them usually see kids smiling and playing. Now when they rode the ride, some of them laughed, some of them screamed, some of them giggled. But everybody looked just like dragging. Now psychological wise, that bothers me a little bit by looking at all this, because was it because of the lockdown? Was it because of the way they've been, you know, I mean, yeah, but then it makes me, or was it because of maybe this virus or what it did? I don't know. I mean, I'm a very positive person. I think all the time and try to be in a good mood most of the time. I mean, even if we had 30 minutes left on this planet, I would try to enjoy those 30 minutes. I mean, there'd be other people that just couldn't deal with it. But I don't know. And it, when my son even says something to me and notices that tells me something. So it makes me wonder, 1 year of this stuff should not have done that. That's what I find even more strange about all of it. So, but I would say maybe out of probably 3,000 people, we've probably seen 30 people out there that actually was happy, maybe more energetic, more positive, just like us. I mean, like if say they were playing some music, and somebody actually was kind of dancing around and kind of having fun with all of it and stuff. I didn't see it, and it just, I don't know. But then it makes me think about what the long-term effects of what this will be on all the children here. I mean, is that what all this is about? I don't know. I address things too, because I don't get it. That's something Teal Swan or E Arts could do with one on. Or are they just still living in fear? But, fear can't do nothing to you. It's worry that can hurt your health. I'm sure E Arts could even talk about that if you sit around and worry about things. People never really think about that. But I think about this deal too. I mean, I wonder. But I'm curious to see in the next couple of months, when we go back to World's Fun, go back to Oceans of Fun, how they, like I say, act. Because I never seen nothing like that. That was the only thing. We've been going up there. We've probably been going up there for at least 17 years. And never have ever seen nothing like that. Never like that. I mean, observation. The only thing you gotta do is open your eyes. Look and see what you see. They talk about watching. Yeah, if there's anybody a watcher, I would probably wanted to watch. The bottom line is about all this. It's just unreal, the things that people do. I used to go up to a casino, Isle of Capri, and listen to bands play. Well, they had all different groups up there. They had voodoo people, they had witchcraft people, they had masons up there. They had a little bit of everything. And it was all mixed together. And this one guy, he was they designated him because he had basically a big old stick. And I think he was supposed to be like their headmaster watcher, like. And I was thinking, but they didn't understand this energy all the way. I mean, if you listen to E Arts, if you listen to Teal Swan, they explain about all this. But they also need to explain that these groups that are controlling, keeping everybody down, so that they don't go any further and they're unhappy. But that's what they thrive on. They thrive on that. I don't know what to say. They like anger, they like sadness. They like that. That's what they pull their energy from. So you have to understand several things here. I mean, do any of us know everything? No. Does Teal Swan know everything? Do I know everything? Does E.R.? But we go as we learn. You take that, you apply that. But I don't know. But like I said, that is what we seen yesterday. Like I said, we had a real good time. We had fun, everything. But there was I just never seen so many sad and just down. Look, I don't know. Here's our crane. You get him? I don't know. I know me and my son, we talk and do hypothetical things. We talk about lots of different things. And we talk about, say there was, hypothetical wise, an alien race that came here and offered you, say, a way to get off this planet. Say they actually said, well, you can come with us in our ship and go. I'm not talking about the psycho people that kill themselves or anything, but I'm talking about hypothetical. And would you do it? Could you get on that ship? And would you be willing to learn? Now, I know Leak Project, I mean, I'd get on in a second. Just like, I've heard Leak Project too. I mean, he's talked too. I mean, can you imagine what's out there? Can you imagine the planets? I think the question would be if you ask a suspicious observer. I mean, he's a pretty smart guy. But I worked around a lot of engineers too. And sometimes, I worked around one engineer. It worked for Honeywell. Actually, he was a consultant for the U.S. government about how to machine things. And these two gentlemen that had a machine shop out in Blue Springs brought him in. And he was a smart guy. But he had a good personality. And then you got some people that have no personalities whatsoever that, some engineers, it's sad, but it's like what they got when it comes to being smart, they lack in personality. And, but I wonder if he and his children, his wife, if they would do something like that. I think he seems to be on the cutting edge. He seems to be, when they talk about survival and everything else. But when you talk about that and that comes, then people really have to think. I don't know. I think some people have gotten better at being more open, but I think that there's a long way to go. I would say maybe, 20-25% might. But what about the other? Somebody in the last few days, and I don't know if it was ER to Leak Project or whoever else it was there, was talking about, I think it was about the Hopi Indians. And they talked about how this planet, they had drawn, like ascending it. Either that or maybe, I don't think it was teal swans on that. Anyway, on this kind of like petroglyph, basically they had actually etched in two different lines. And how, like the planet Earth, like they would split off half and half. So it makes you wonder about all this. But I will say one thing. ER to Teal Swan are correct completely when it comes to talking about if you want to advance and everything else. I mean, and there are beings out there that can't help you, definitely. And the more you raise your frequency level, the more, I mean, excuse me, basically the more you, I mean, can take in and understand. But it doesn't mean being controlled by groups. That's where they're going to, you know. I mean, you even take Paul Bigley. I mean, he talks about beings, he talks about demons, he talks about aliens, he talks about, I mean, not everybody has to agree on everything, but he talks about also what if. And I mean, if it's not addressed, if the truth isn't out there, I mean, I think he's seeking, just like everybody else, he's seeking the truth. He's wanting to find out. But, I do believe that we do have to, you have to, your spirit yourself has to help itself though. You cannot just, you can't wait thinking that something's going to come along and do that for you. And these beings too also want to see that. They don't want to, you know, time and effort, they ain't going to take their time and effort either to even show themselves to you in that sense, unless you show them that, I mean, what you're willing to do basically and stand in the light. I mean, there are many different species and creatures on this planet. And like when I talk, like I say, see, there we are. They must, oh, sir. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're picking up trash down there. That's good. Good. There are dark species just like light. And I think Teal Swan goes in pretty good deal about that, like positive and negative. I mean, we've all known positive and negative, yin and yang. I mean, come on, guys. But, would you want to be on the negative side or the positive? Now, when we talk about dark creatures, we've always been programmed in our head that dark creatures are all bad. That's not the case. What you want to say, and when you want to talk about something, is good and evil. And there is good and evil. Witchcraft bunch doesn't like to talk about that. If you say good and evil, it makes them go through the roof because they don't want to hear that. Because then, you know, because it locks everything down to where, you know, pretty much it's either good or it is evil. But we'll talk about what they call the jinn. The jinn, I have my discrepancy on this. I do not believe that they're evil. The Masons supposedly controlled them. You know, the King Solomon with a ring. And like I say, I don't believe it. Pretty much no. I mean, they supposedly are just like us. They have families and everything else. But they have tremendous power though too. And if you could, you know, it's just like anything. If you could cage something like that and use its power for not good or whatever they want to use it for, think about that too. You always want to stand in the light. Look at that sun. That's where you want to be. You know, EER's talked about how some people have been attacked by these other groups and other stuff. It goes on all the time with using the biokinetic or chi energy and stuff. Remember guys, selenite's a good cleanser. if you wand yourself every night, it's a good thing. Basically I do it every morning, every night, because then it keeps everything flowing pretty good. Anyway, get a chance, get out and get a walk in today, because we got some CMEs coming in, guys. Anyway, have a good one.